Presbyterian Church in Jackson, Tennessee, and this is our Practicing Our Faith series. I thought we would do something a little different today. So far in this series, we've explored fairly traditional spiritual practices. So I thought today we'd try to do something a little less traditional. So I'm borrowing from a book called Faithful Families, Creating Sacred Moments at Home. This is by Tracy Smith, who is a Presbyterian pastor in San Antonio, Texas. This is actually the second version of this book. It used to be called Seamless Faith, and they revised and expanded it. So this is the second version, and it is a wonderful resource. It's actually one of my go-to resources for working with children. The idea behind this book is it's a collection of ceremonies, traditions, spiritual practices that you can do at home with your families to create sacred space, to create spiritual practices together, to share your faith together. And it is wonderful. So if you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or children that you want to share your faith with or practice your faith with, I really recommend getting this book. I mean, it's wonderful. One of the things I really like about it is that there's a really wide range of ages that can benefit from it. So for each practice in the book, it will give you a suggested age range, and it goes from like newborn all the way up through teenagers. So which I really love because I have a 1-year-old and an 11-year-old. So it's really helpful to have something that appeals to both of those. Also, something I like about this book is that for every spiritual practice, it lists different variations you can do, so you can really tweak each practice and change it and adapt it so that it fits your family. So anyway, it's a great resource. I highly recommend it. We're going to do a prayer from this book today, or I'm going to tell you how to do a prayer from this book. It's called a smartphone prayer. So this is a prayer that you'll use your smartphone for. And if you're like me, you spend a lot of time trying, not to spend so much time on your phone. So this is actually a way to use your phone in a positive way. So I just thought it was kind of fun and different, and I thought I would share it with you. So the prayer is 5 minutes long, and each minute has a different focus, and you use your phone for each minute. So I'm just going to read through it and tell you how to do this prayer. And I hope you'll try it out. Like I had a lot of fun with it, and it's something that you can do with your kids, something you can do with your families, or you can just do it on your own. And even though the practices in here are mostly for kids and children, I think this can be great for adults or, us big kids, kids of all ages. So to start the prayer, during the first minute of the prayer, you go to your text messages and look at the last 5 people in your recent messages, whether they're people that you text often or hardly ever, and you pray for each of those 5 people. So the first minute of the prayer, just go through your text messages, find the last 5 people you texted, and pray for each of them. The second minute of the prayer, you go to a news app or website and just scroll through the headlines. And whatever jumps out to you, what you think, is in need of prayer, some place in the world that's in need of prayer, or some issue or something going on in the world, just pray a prayer for that. So that's minute 2. Minute 3, you go to your notepad on your phone and just spend a minute typing out whatever comes to mind. So it can be praise, it can be gratitude, confession, request to God, whatever it is that comes from your heart, just spend some time typing it out. And if you're like me, you're a really slow typer on the phone, so you might have to take a little bit longer than a minute. But that's minute 3 on this one. Minute 4 go to your favorite social media site, so Facebook, Instagram, whatever site it is you like to go to for social media, and spend a minute praying for the people who come up in your feed. So as you're just scrolling through Facebook and you see the names of the people who you're friends with on Facebook who are coming up in your feed, just take a minute to pray for them. And then minute 5, go to your photos and take a moment to scroll through the most recent 20 or so photos, and then just pray for the people in your photos for that last 20 photos, maybe more, maybe less, but just take a moment to pray for the people in those photos, take a moment to pray for the places in those photos, and then you can just conclude with praise for God. And if you're doing this with others, with your family or children, it can be really fun to, after the prayer is done, to ask how, they experienced it, what they learned, did anything surprise them? And you might wonder, what surprised you? What was meaningful for you? For me personally, when I was doing this, some of the people in my text messages are people I don't really know that well. And so, it made me really kind of think through what could be going on in their lives, and um, made me want to reach out to them. So anyway, I hope that you enjoy this. I hope you try it. I think it can be really fun and just a kind of a guided prayer. And I hope that you're staying healthy and happy and doing well. And I will see you again next week. Thanks be to God. Amen.